I feel like them beating Gervonta Davis, like Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston. They're all like, oh, like everybody's scared.
Welcome back, fight fans. Today we swap our popular closer look features for a future showdown analysis between two of the hottest young talents in the sport.
Ryan Garcia is destined to be a great fighter.
A potential mega fight that would see one of the sport's fastest
hard right hand
against one of the most destructive.
Lightning quick power.
A collision of teams, fan bases, and styles.
I don't fear nobody, man. Let's fight Gervonta. Let's get it on.
I wanted to let him grow first. I don't want him to ever say Tank name again.
If you enjoy our content, please click thumbs up, subscribe, and press the bell button so our content is seen by more and more boxing fans around the globe. As we break down a future clash between Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia.
Oh, vicious right hand!
As his head bounces off the canvas. Is this the future of boxing? Absolutely.
Welcome to a Motivadia presentation.
They don't really know if they want to be champion or if they want to be famous. Instagram's a powerful thing nowadays, man. You know what I mean?
Ryan Garcia has an opportunity to be bigger than us.
I'll tell you one thing, this guy is going to be the star.
Now I signed the biggest deal in prospect history. I couldn't be happier.
Late last year, Ryan Garcia signed one of the most lucrative contracts for a boxing prospect of all time. A signal, alongside his growing marketability and first-round knockout in November, that he is ready to start pushing his way to the top.
Right hand and a hook, and due to his hurt.
Training alongside the sport's elite and coached by Eddie Reynoso, 2019's Trainer of the Year, the youngster is in very safe hands.
But if he hits anybody, I don't care who it is, his weight class, he is going to knock you out.
On social media, we see regular displays of blistering speed and reflexes. And where his hands appear some of the fastest in the sport, it puts question marks on just how Garcia will fare in his first tough step up.
I would say just continue what you're doing. I mean, just continue what you're doing.
I think they're taking their time with Ryan Garcia. I think they know Ryan Garcia is a great talent.
So far, he maintains a steady yet consistent rise in competition.
Oh! How quick was that? Less than 10 seconds into the fight.
And his recent matchup against Fonseca provided the perfect next step.
You didn't respect me back then. You're respecting me now.
What do you think Tank's thinking right now?
Being a former opponent of the TMT superstar Gervonta Davis could open the gateway to a 2020 mega fight.
The fact that he's having beef with Gervonta Davis and fighters who have a better, more seasoned record than he does are calling him out. So
it's a collision that has been a long time coming, but the last 12 months have seen it gain more momentum than ever.
See a pay-per-view fight with Gervonta Davis. I know that will come. Everybody knows. Everybody wants to see that one. So you'll see in the future those big fights.
Though whilst both seem willing and prepared to take the test, it's one that will ultimately be decided by promoters and boxing politics.
So I can imagine how a fight with Ryan and Tank can pan out. You know, it would be very interesting. I would love that. It would be a big fight.
And in a career plagued by inactivity and subpar opposition, Gervonta Davis is certainly no stranger to behind-the-scenes issues.
What goes on in the ring, outside of the ring, you know, coming off of 2018 was a horrible year for him.
Entering his 7th year as a professional, he aims to put his own dent in the pound-for-pound rankings. And now approaching his best years, we can expect the money team to finally start pressing the red button on their high-profile lightweight missile.
It really doesn't matter to me. You know, just line them up. I'm here. There ain't no safety on this Glock, so I'm ready for it all.
Fighting 3 times in 2019, Ruiz, Nunez, Gamboa, and winning each by vicious knockout. Though with a stacked division and some great fights available, the fans' demand for tougher competition becomes increasingly strident.
I will prove that when I beat Gervonta Davis this year. You know, I'm not even at my prime, but I could beat him right now.
Garcia believes a 2020 showdown provides him the perfect platform to shock the world But with Davis' killer instinct, power, and a hard-to-replicate style, there are still few who would favor the Californian in the next 12 months.
He has a chance, but not right now. I think right now he's still too soon. I think he still needs to get a little more experience, get a few more rounds over there.
Gervonta Davis coming undisciplined for that fight, they can be held.
Looking down the tail of the tape, King Rai boasts the majority of advantages on paper. Where youth has little importance, his 4-inch height and 3-inch reach advantages are much more significant. Both are unbeaten, with 23 and 19 fights respectively, though Davis' knockout ratio, as often the case, remains the underlying factor.
No matter what nobody say, your job is to go out there and fight and keep making them 7-figure paydays, and we move you up to 8-figure paydays, and then 9 figures.
That, and the way he combines a southpaw stance with unorthodox power punching.
And Michelle Myers has seen enough. It is over.
Interestingly, in terms of amateur pedigree, the two have a combined total of over 400 fights in unpaid ranks, holding insanely similar records. In terms of weakness, some onlookers believe to have seen vulnerabilities in Gervonta's December bout, and Garcia, weathering a late storm, scored a lackluster majority decision over Carlos Morales a year ago.
It looks like he and Ryan left everything in the ring, even though he was running and holding too much, but it is what it is.
Though unscathed, both fighters continue their routes to greatness. Putting things into perspective, at Garcia's age, Tank was 16-0 and moving into title contention.
Survival mode right now is not good enough. Oh, that's why.
The next year saw him face 2 unbeaten opponents, taking out Jose Pedraza in the 7th for the IBF title, and then defending it against Liam Walsh in the UK. With this in mind, Garcia looks to be on a similar course, but a jump straight into the deep end is a huge risk.
He's a cool little guy, but he can't beat Tank. No, he can't beat Tank. I was born for this.
Despite Garcia's physical advantages and maybe even having faster hands, it's hard to argue against Tank being the much more polished fighter. Where the Reynosos continue to build Ryan's defense, refining his technique and uprooting any bad habits, 12 months' time whereby he is calling for the fight to be made could see a much more well-rounded version.
I don't fear nobody, man. Let's fight Gervonta, let's get it on.
We should get that set up after this fight.
After seeing him fight live in person, I think I'm even more confident.
With echoes of Oscar's style, appearance, and sharpness, it would already make for one hell of a fight. Though stepping in right now against one of the sport's hardest pound-for-pound punchers could be a disaster.
I love the confidence. You gotta be confident in yourself, but I just don't see him being able to handle himself against Tank.
After all, we're yet to see how well the Californian takes a big punch, brawls on the inside, and deals with real adversity.
How did he weather that? Another one. And a hook. And down he goes.
Realistically, Davis should be eyeing up some of the division's top 10 or even top 5 names, in which case 2020 fights with Romero, Farmer, or even childhood rival Devin Haney would be much more sensible for Garcia. In a sport that sees elite showdowns increasingly hard to come by, it's a refreshing sight to see 2 young superstars ready to put everything on the line.
We'll get some skills in there, but they're going to rumble, because Tank will make them fight.
After all, without risk, there is no reward.
God put me in here for a reason, and you'll see.
And for these reasons, the fight draws flashbacks to a young Canelo stepping up against the sport's very best, falling short, but gaining invaluable experience that would eventually see him conquer the sport.
He don't deserve it, but who have he beat? Tank 2-time world champion?
Though persistence and pressure from Ryan Garcia could bring boxing fans one of the biggest fights in the sport, and a chance to rewrite history of his own.
You know, people want to see fights at the end of the day. Let's see a fight.
Champion versus prospect. Power versus speed. The battle for the future of boxing.
Welcome to the mountain.
Good morning, class. First question, why were 5 and 6 nervous? Because 7, 8, 9. Why did 7 do it? Because he heard you needed 3 squared meals a day. That concludes our lesson. Just remember, if you enjoyed it half as much as we did, we enjoyed it twice as much as you. No matter how you calculate it, it all adds up to a Motivedia presentation.